Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod. I'm here to talk about Survivor Season 45, Episode 2, titled Bazooka to a Tea Party. Last week on Survivor, we got introduced to our three new tribes. The dysfunctional Yellow Lulu tribe lost the immunity challenge, went to Tribal Council where Hannah effectively quit the game. Before I dive in, if you like the videos I make, click the link on the bottom right to subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. But enough about me, let's dive in. We get back to the Yellow Lulu tribe. It's nighttime. Sean says that he understands why Hannah quit, which kind of furthers what I was saying is there was more behind the scenes that we didn't see. Sabaya feels like at Tribal Council, Emily was raking she and Caleb over the coals. They feel like Emily came into the season already feeling like she was going to be disliked no matter who was on her tribe, which isn't really fair to them. In the end, I feel like this conversation was positive. They were all airing out how they were feeling, and it was enough of an airing of grievances that they could find some positive common ground moving forward. But Sabaya and Emily are still left off at odds, with Sabaya feeling like Emily is bad news. After this, we get the opening credits, which is awesome. They never should have done away with this. One thing about me is I love the Survivor theme song. I love the credits. Also, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but the opening credits really helped me to remember who's on the season. My only feedback is a lot of the opening credit shots were really unflattering for the survivors. It should be mandatory that the opening credit shot for every person is extremely flattering. It's gotta be them looking awesome or them looking cute. The sun rises and it's a new day at Reba Red. Sifu is living his best life. He tells Austin he can punch things really hard without feeling it. Jay Maya believes there's a clue hidden in the flag, which is true. But Austin is one step ahead because he has the decoder for the clue. With the decoder, he figures out he needs to look for a fallen palm tree marking an X. I really love when there are multiple idol clues. It reminds me of a treasure hunt. At Blue, Bruce makes a fire. They call him Uncle Bruce. He sings. This is a new silly side to Bruce we haven't seen last season. Jake says he vibes with Bruce. Bruce wants to go into uncle mode. He thinks that he is the uncle, but the other tribe mates, Katura specifically, are getting frustrated with him. He's name dropping people from his season. I'm not sure if it's just Katura, but Katura is making herself out to be the president of the I Hate Bruce fan club. On the Yellow Lulu tribe, Emily starts looking for an idol. The other tribe members all start scrambling, pretty much led by Sabaya. Sabaya pretty much wants to babysit Emily's ass while she looks for her idol. So she tells Emily, hey, we're all splitting up into pairs, and oh look, I'm your pair. So it's obvious to us that they're trying to keep tabs on Emily, and Emily can see it too. Brandon ends up finding the idol, but he doesn't want to open it because it's a beware advantage. And I guess he told himself before coming on the show, if it's a beware advantage, I don't want to open it. But I feel like opening beware advantages has proven to be more successful than it has been a hindrance to players. Whether you're playing Survivor on TV or on Roblox, if you find something, take it. So Sabaya is with Brandon when he finds the beware advantage. I guess she found someone new to babysit. She tells him, if you're not going to open it, I will. That's the spirit, play the game. Sabaya reads her clue and it's different from the other clue. This one's more of just a map. They follow the map and end up at a tree, so they conclude that the idol must be up in the tree. Sabaya asks Brandon, how do we get up into this tree? And he replies saying, how do we? It's your idol. Which is just funny. Brandon couldn't climb up that ladder. You want him to climb a tree? They look all over for the idol, high and low. Sabaya ends up telling Sean and Caleb about the clue because they just can't find it. At the Red Reba tribe, there was talk about Dee's big toe, and this big toe is pretty big. I'll be honest, I was a little tipsy watching this, and I was really confused. So Dee pinches Sifu with her big toe. Her big toe is very powerful. It's edited as foreshadowing. Tipsy me watching this, I'm like, this toe is about to be the most important thing of the season. Dee is 10,000% going to win the challenge where they have to stack the blocks with their feet. Julie says she's been taking on the role of the mama of the tribe. Dee is her closest ally. She's trying to make allies, but they score it with goofy music, even though it seems like what she's doing is serious and seemingly successful. Why are they painting Julie to be such a foolie? Julie's ideal alliance would be Austin, Drew, Dee, and herself. Drew sees himself growing this alliance into him being the king of the tribe. So I guess this is trying to tell us that there's a core four on this tribe, with Jay, Maya, and Sifu being on the outs. On Yellow Lulu, Emily and Caleb talk. He's starting to understand her more and he wants to help her. Emily feels like she's brought a bazooka to a tea party and she said the thing. Emily ends up learning a lot from Caleb. She apologizes for the tribal council. She ends up growing a bit. Emily breaks down. This is great character development from her. Boats come into each tribe. One person per tribe is going to go on a journey. Drew, Brandon, and Bruce, Katura's nemesis, get picked to go. Bruce does the robot on the way out on the boat. On the journey, Drew, the self-proclaimed king of red, says he feels like this is a networking opportunity. Drew says Brandon lays it all out there, and Bruce is a little bit more close to the chest. As they walk down the journey, Brandon falls down and says, oh, that sucks, God. Brandon has to be the most Charlie Browniest person that's ever been on Survivor. At the end of their journey, they each have a puzzle to complete. They get 3 minutes to finish it. If they fail, they lose their vote at the next tribal council, puzzle. If they win, they get an advantage in the game, and they can decide not to play and protect their vote. Bruce decides to protect his vote, and I feel like he played this really well. He really does need his vote at the next tribal. But Drew and Brandon both decide to play, and it's a simple matching game. They have to match up tiles, and the tiles that don't have matches have codes to a combination on them. They start out, Brandon is making quick work of his matches. Drew is making matches and throwing his pieces into the sand confidently, which doesn't seem like a good strategy. Like, if you get one wrong, then you have to dig around in the sand to find out what you messed up. But Drew ends up getting his matches correct and winning the advantage, even though he was throwing his pieces in the sand, which was so rizzy. Like, I don't know, if you're gonna throw your pieces in the sand, at least do it right, then you look hella fly. Brandon eventually realizes that he messed up his matches, so he loses his vote, which is really not hella fly. Drew's advantage is safety without power, so he can leave any tribal council up to the final 10. This is the best advantage to give out for something like this. It's not overpowered. Brandon comes back to his tribe, and he tells his tribe he has no vote at the next tribal council because he messed up the puzzle. Sean loses more confidence in Brandon. At Red, because they're the fun, good vibes tribe, they're all hiding from Drew. When he comes in, they surprise him and start rubbing his head. He ends up telling them the full truth about what happened on the journey. Austin feels like Drew is playing a loyal game because Drew wants to use his power to help get the tribe ahead. So Austin tells Drew about his beware advantage because he trusts Drew. Drew feels like Austin is the JT to his Steven. At the Blue tribe, the ladies are struggling to get into the buff as a bando culture. Brando puts his buff on as a bando easily. Brando is now wearing the buff as a bando. The ladies rope Brando bando into their alliance of 3. So this really sets up this 4 as the power core for this tribe and probably the strongest alliance in the game right now. Jake and Bruce suspect that they're on the bottom. Kelly points out that she's in the middle and can go with the men or go with the women in Brando. But to me, this doesn't really seem real. I can't really see Kelly going and siding with the men. But it's good to know that Kelly has taken a page out of Kim Spradlin's book because she has options. We get to the immunity challenge. It's pretty straightforward. One at a time, they're climbing a tower, leaping off, smashing a tile to get a key, then walking across a balance beam. At the end, once they get 3 keys, they unlock the puzzle pieces and solve a puzzle. The 2 winning tribes will win immunity and some level of fishing gear. Jeff says there's a new rule where you can't sit out from back-to-back challenges, and that's fair. That should have been a rule for a while. It was pretty much the reason why Claire sat out of every single challenge on her season. Obviously, the producers were not very happy about that, but if you're not happy about it, then you should make it a rule. It's not her fault. We start off and quickly Dee, Jake, and Emily get their keys. Emily absolutely crushes the balance beam, showing her value to the yellow tribe. Jeff is really making a meal out of pointing out Sean's faceplants into the water for Lulu. At some point, Kendra falls off the balance beam directly between her legs, and ooh, that's gotta hurt. Jeff points out that Austin obliterates his tile, and obviously Austin is Jeff's favorite. Red is first onto the puzzle, yellow is next, and blue is last to the puzzle because Kendra held them back a little bit. Kelly and Brando start bodying this puzzle. They make up a lot of ground, and yellow falls behind. Jeff says put it in the deep freeze for yellow. Red comes in first, blue in quick second. Jeff is jazzed about this. Yellow is going to tribal again. Jeff hates them. Back at Yellow Lulu, Sabaya doesn't have a vote, neither does Brandon. Sabaya, Caleb, and Sean find a candle in a tree with the idol in it. They have to burn the candle down in order for Sabaya to get the idol and her vote back, but they don't have any fire to burn it. I like the idol in the candle. I think it's cool. Also, it's a pretty thickums candle. Do they really have to burn the entire thing down to the nub? Surely there's rules that at no point you can smash the candle and try to break it. Emily gives Sabaya her shot in the dark to hold on to prove trust. I'm not 100% on the rules of the shot in the dark. Like, if they voted out Emily here, would Sabaya have 2 shot in the darks that she could play? I'm leaning towards no. I think that this is only symbolic, but maybe Sabaya could have sold Emily's shot in the dark on eBay. So it seems like the tribe is deciding between Emily and Brandon, but it's just Caleb and Sean deciding because Sabaya doesn't have a vote, and Emily's obviously going to vote for Brandon. We get to the tribal council, and it's more of that. They talk about how Emily would have gone home last time if Hannah didn't quit, and it's pretty much between Emily and Brandon. To the extent that Jeff actually just lets Emily and Brandon plead their case and tell everyone how much it means to them. Jeff kind of helps Brandon plead his case by saying he relates to Brandon. When Jeff was a kid, he was on a sports team and they asked him to be the water boy. After all this time, we're still learning more about Jeff. Emily says that watching the show back will be a traumatic experience. So we get to the votes, no advantages are played, and Brandon is voted out unanimously. And I was actually pretty surprised to see that Brandon was voted out here. In the preseason, based on how big of a fan of the show that he was, I definitely had high hopes for him to do well in the strategic part of the game. So I actually picked him as one of my top 5 in a fantasy pool that I'm in. He had a really rough premiere, and I feel like people will really remember him for the struggle in the Marooning Challenge. As a physical competitor, he really wasn't all that there, obviously, as we could all see. But ultimately, I think his biggest downfall was the lack of confidence that his tribe mates had in him pulling through in puzzles in the challenges. If you can't really compete physically in these challenges, it's fine. Your team will put you at the end in the puzzle, but your puzzle acuity better be really, really good. Sadly, they lost the first immunity challenge, then he lost the puzzle during the journey challenge, which really set off alarms, specifically with Sean, based on the fact that Emily did much better in the physical aspect of this immunity challenge, as well as probably would be better under pressure doing a puzzle. I can see why they ended up voting out Brandon. Overall, Brandon isn't someone that I would expect to see again on any specific reality show, though I do expect him to be around the podcaster circuit, and that's fully welcomed. So anyways, that's all I have to say about this week. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my video. I'm going on a trip to Disney, and I have so many videos to make by the end of the day on Thursday. I will 100% be posting my Big Brother recap for this week, Thursday night, and I'm challenging myself to do a challenge recap as well. If you like those shows, go back and listen to some of my updates. I put them in playlists on my page. Wish me luck in Disney. See you soon. Have a nice weekend. Bye.